Chalk Talk is brought to you by Isolite, the emergency lighting experts. Stay educated, my friends.
Thanks for joining us for our March Chalk Talk. As you can see here, the topic that we're going to be discussing is sales tools, resources, and where to find them. We've spent the last year, probably almost 2 years, redoing some of the resources that we offer on our website. So as always, our host, Evan Ackman, is on the line today, and Evan's going to go through some tools that you have that you can use to help grow your business with us. So as always, thank you for your support. Thanks for joining us. And Evan, take it away.
Thanks, Greg, and thanks everyone for joining us. I guess I'll start today's meeting with a little bit of an apology. I know that this month's Chalk Talk schedule is a little bit stranger than usual. We really like to keep these things to Tuesday, Thursday, and we had to do a Friday, Monday Chalk Talk this month. That's just down to our travel schedules and some timing issues that we had. So next month we'll go back to normal, but I appreciate you guys hanging with us through the turn. As Greg mentioned, we're going to focus on some of the resources that you guys have available to you. When we go and try to plan these Chalk Talks out, one of the things that we do is we discuss with our team, like what kind of questions are you getting? What's coming up in the market right now that we might be able to cover as a Chalk Talk to help ease up some of the email burden. And one of the things that came up over the last couple months, but we had an opportunity to talk about now, was we send out a lot of sales tools. We send out, these PDFs and these emails, and you get some email from us probably every week. But the thing that we never really tell you is if you can't go hunt through your email to find those things, how do you get access to it? Where do those things live as sort of their cold storage long-term for when you need to access it? And so we decided that we were going to talk about Isolite.com, some of the changes that we've made to it, and then talk about specifics about education and sales tools. And I really break that up into 3 different sort of sections. I think about them as technical product related tools, non-product specific, but still technical tools. And then sort of the everything else is non-technical business related tools. And so I want to go through those 3 things. And I want to wrap up with a very quick isolite.dev update. And then as always, we'll throw up our contact information for how to get in touch with us should you need it. With that said, let's jump right into it. We actually redesigned the web page last year, but those changes are ongoing. And it also, in preparing for this, we realized that we never really told people about this. It's just sort of the website changed all at once one day, and hopefully it was better, but we never really described why we did this, what we have done, and how to get access to the information that's held within. And as you can see, we've actually made a lot of changes to it, but most specifically, our goal was to really focus on our relationship with the agency and the specification community and being able to provide you and them with the information they need as quickly as possible. One of the things that we had as our guiding principle was we wanted to have the fewest clicks to a cut sheet of any manufacturer's webpage. And we'll see how that actually comes to life here in a slide or two. The other thing was we really wanted to have a location to highlight a lot of our educational content. We'd already started at the Chalk Talks at that point. We had eyes towards creating a lot of AIA courses. We knew that we were creating sort of industry-wide documentation regarding exit signs and emergency, but also just sort of code compliance. And so this was a way for us to give that sort of a first-class citizen status and promote it via our webpage. The last thing that we did, which you can see on the right there, is we wanted to be able to highlight important things. Our previous webpage, if you can go way back in time, it didn't really have a place where we could sort of focus on one specific thing that we thought was important, was new, was relevant for the visitors to our site. And so as you can see right now with our self-luminous exit sign video that's up there, that's a way that we can have a little bit of video content, something a little bit prettier, a little bit more visually interesting that can sort of draw your attention to what we think is important right now for you guys to know. And we have our ideas that we want to refresh that really every 3 or 4 months. We're a little bit behind right now, frankly, because we're sort of changing the format. We're going to make that a little bit of a longer form video, a little bit more information dense. And so look forward to an E3 Mac video going up here in the next month or so. But that's really the highlight of what we're doing for the web page. But as I mentioned at the start, the goal was to really be able to get to the quickest access to technical information. And so this is where you start to see that embodied. Like every time you can see something related to a product, and these product cards are up. The most important thing here is that quick spec button. And so that really is the thing that allows us to be 2 clicks away from a cut sheet, from anywhere that you are on the web page. So you go up to the products list, you pull down the relevant product, boom, you can hit quick spec and you're there. And we do promote other things in that like quick spec location. So products like inverters, which have boilerplate specifications associated with them as well, they're also promoted to that, quick access button at the bottom of the product card. One other thing that you'll notice, which was done in response to what you guys have asked for, is we took this as an opportunity to redo all of our product photography, not just to sort of make it a little bit more consistent, and all that's certainly one of the benefits. We also used it as an opportunity to try to broaden up the types of pictures that we take. So being consistent about front, side, and an angled shot, and then also mixing and matching between different colors and finishes. The old web page had a lot of, red on white exit signs. We tried to mix that up a little bit and go to more colors, more finishes, different mounting options, so that you can get an idea sort of across the line about how the different looks and feels of the products can relate to each other. So hopefully that's been helpful. We actually have eyes on even being more broad about what we do in terms of displaying colors, finishes, mounting options, and different views for the products. But that's sort of a future ongoing change for the website. Now, you don't just have to hit that quick spec button. The product page is really where we spent a lot of time when we redid the site. And sort of, I break this into 2 different sections. I think of like the above the fold section and then the below the fold into the weeds section. The above the fold stuff is, again, that quick access that you're going to need. That's where the link to the cut sheet is. If there's boilerplate specs, they'll be up there. If there's a highlight video related to that product, it's going to be right up there in the stripe at the top. As you start to roll down, though, you get into the features and benefits, and then that into the weeds section at the bottom is really where all the detailed technical specifications are, and then every document that's related to that product. So instruction sheets, if there are additional drawing documents, if there are marketing documents that we've created, if there's a highlight video related to it, if there's a chalk talk related to it, you're going to start to see all of that stuff down below. You scroll further, you're going to see some of the things like related products. We have a lot of changes that we want to make to this product section as well to make it even more useful, but this really is now acting as a repository for all documents related to the product, not just the cut sheet, not just the instruction sheet. And so we're actually making a couple changes here to bring more video into this, which you should look forward to in the next couple of weeks, but right now we think it's pretty good. The next thing that you're going to see is non-product specific tools, and you can see it by pulling down that knowledge tab, as you can see over on the right. The goal is to make the website more than just like a product catalog. We think that that's not really what the most important thing is. It's like all of this other material, and so this is where you start to see all of that non-product related stuff. And probably the most important of that is the link to the Chalk Talks. And we realize that at the end of every Chalk Talk and as a part of every follow-up email that we send out, we tell you that we're going to provide access to the videos and the slides and all those things, but we never really have told you exactly where that is sort of hidden on our website. It's right under the Chalk Talk webinar series link under the knowledge tab there. And so every Chalk Talk that we've ever done from mid 2019 through now is up there. We have the video and the slides for most of them. Some of the older ones will only have the slides because maybe we talked about some pricing specific stuff that we didn't necessarily want to move past the agency community. But since we opened up the Chalk Talks for public access, every one of them has a video and the slide deck. The other thing that's here is that there's a searchable database. And so we've done a lot of work to try to make the metadata right. So you can search for product name, you can search for the code that's being applied or various other terms that will just bring you to the Chalk Talks that are relevant for that search term. So that's pretty exciting. If you're on this Chalk Talk, it probably doesn't apply to you, but there's also a link to sign up for the next Chalk Talk. So if someone lands on our website that's not a part of our agency community, it's not a specification team that we have access to, they just land here and they want access to our Chalk Talks and they want to see them live on an ongoing basis, they can register for the next one here. And then when you click on any one of those, it takes you into what I just mentioned before. And the first thing that you're going to see is the video. You can kind of see it up at the top there. That's going to be the best presentation that I gave from that month of the 4, with a little bit of light editing to put the bumpers on the front and the end. But as we say every time, if you scroll down, and a lot of people miss this actually, if you scroll down, the slide deck that we're looking at right now, so if you see me sitting here bouncing back and forth, that slide deck is at the bottom. So if you want to give that to your other team members, to some of your customers, to your children to put them at sleep at night, you can actually drive through the slides that we're using right now, and you'll have access to everything that we used when we gave the presentation. Now, over the last couple of years, we've really had an initiative to sort of be more of an industry participant with continuing education. And to that end, we've actually created a number of AIA accredited courses that the specification community can use for their continuing education obligations. And we actually can give those live, obviously, but we also have that on our website as an on-demand service that's backed up by the continuing architect. So those who visit our website and they want to watch this live, they can sign up for the continuing architect right there. If you click that play button, it's going to open a little frame that will have the video. If they're not members of TCA, they can sign up for free and then watch the video and get credit for whatever continuing education obligations they have. AIA obviously is who we accredited these things through, but that's recognized across the industry through all of the other continuing education providers. And of course, we have our inverter course. We have courses on exit signs and emergency lights. We can give those in sort of various 30-minute and 1-hour increments. One thing that we talked about maybe a couple months ago, but I'm delighted to report is live now, is we have this 1-hour course on controls integration with emergency systems. That's something that you guys have asked us for. I think there's a lot of confusion in the industry about how inverters and generators work with all of the various lighting control topologies. That course covers that. We can give it live now. We're just finishing up the on-demand version, so you're going to see that through the continuing architect here really within the next month or so. So that's pretty cool as well. Some of the other sort of catch-all areas, we have this like download section. This has, yes, sort of every spec sheet and instruction sheet in it, but it's also kind of a catch-all for things that aren't product specific. Looking at the analytics of our webpage, these are actually some of the most visited links there. Things like the cell sheets, some technical information, particularly like the IP rating charts. Everything that doesn't necessarily have a perfect home in a product page will end up here. So any of those documents that we've sent out, a year or two ago, you say, oh, geez, I remember that Isolite sent me something about this. Where did it go? You can go look at this download section, and that's going to house all of those documents. And as things become, relevant or irrelevant, we add them and take them away from here. So there's a lot of churn in this section, trying to keep it current and accurate. Really, the last thing that I wanted to just touch on here is the additional resources. And this is what I described earlier as the sort of non-product specific, non-technical area of the website. This is frankly the section that kind of spurred us wanting to talk about this month, because we get a lot of questions about, what products do you have that are assembled in America? Which ones are Buy American Act compliant? We actually have this on our website under the resources tab. There's a link right there that you can go and see this. There's other stuff here that's more about like our business relationships. So things like warranty terms, self-luminous startup or self-luminous end user forms, startup requests, everything that you might need from sort of a business perspective, or it's just non-product specific, is going to go under that resources tab, and that's where access to that will be. Of course, there's also a link to our inverter monitoring service. That's really for end users. And then we have a link to the agency portal up there in the upper right, which will drive you to our agency portal, which is again, agent specific. To that end, I wanted to just finish with a quick touch base on the agency portal. I told you last month that we're going to do this probably every month just to keep you guys apprised of what we're doing. Last month, we said that we're going to be putting invoice information and watched order tracking live. Last month, we also talked about the Oasis integration, which is live now. But all of the those other updates, so the invoices and watched order tracking, that's going to go live sort of imminently. I was hoping to do it over last weekend, but that timing just didn't work out because of some SAP maintenance we had behind the scenes. So it'll probably go live this weekend. And then next month, what you're going to be able to look forward to is a little bit of an update on the performance tracking dashboard. Right now, it's a little bit sort of numeric heavy, and it doesn't necessarily match the format of the performance reports that we send out to the agencies every month. We're going to be updating that. And we also have some other UI improvements that we want to push live that'll make it a little bit more mobile friendly. So look forward to that over the next month. As always, if you do have feedback on the agency portal, please use that report feedback button that's in there. If you haven't signed up for it yet, go to isolite.dev and sign up for an account. It's very useful. We've really tried to make this something that's going to be pretty handy for the agents. As always, all of this information is going to go up on the website. I hope that you realize that after listening to me for the last 15 minutes. As a follow-up to this, we're going to send out the links to the slides as well as to the recording. And we've also gotten into the habit, or we're trying to get into the habit, I guess, of sending out a media kit. So if you want to promote this to other people within your agency, in your literature, on your social media pages, you'll have some artwork from us that you can use to that end. One other thing to keep your eyes peeled for, we do have a very small pricing update that we wanted to push live for April. So we're going to send that out in the form of a pricing addendum. It doesn't impact a lot of our product, which is why we're not going to publish a full-blown price book, but you can look forward to that coming a little bit later this week. So, just some supply chain stuff that we wanted to sort of get in front of rather than losing our lunch. With that said, I appreciate you guys joining us on a strange Chalk Talk day. As always, I'm Evan Ackman. Greg and Matt are on the line. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us. We know that you've got the hard job of being out there and fighting the good fight. So if there's anything that we can do to support you, whether it's a discussion on this topic or any of the others that you may be interested in, please do not hesitate to reach out to schedule a webinar, a live visit, any sort of training that you guys need. We are down for. So reach out to whoever you feel comfortable with, and we will get it on the books. With that said, have a great rest of your month, a great spring. I hope your bracket didn't get busted because you picked St. Peter's. If you have questions, I'll certainly answer them now. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day.